Very good morning, class 11. I really hope that you all are doing very well and you are taking good care of yourself as well as of your nears and dear ones. Right? So today we are starting with a new chapter, that is we are doing a play now from your book Snapshot, Mother's Day. Right? Name seems to be interesting, Mother's Day. So this is a play written by JB Priestley. So let's discuss about JB Priestley first and then we will talk about this chapter. Born in the year 1894, died in 1984. He was the English novelist, playwright, screenwriter, broadcaster and social commentator. It's about JB Priestley, very famous personality. When you will Google about him, you will get to know various other things, right? Now this Mother's Day, this is especially you need to understand, this is a one act play. Now one act play means scenes would change, but this play happened in one particular act only. Like scenes change, but episodes seem to be the one only, right? So that you need to understand. So play basically tells about mother, that in this they will be about the main important role of mother in our life, right? That how mother plays a crucial role in the lives of every single individual, especially for the children, then even for the husbands, for everyone basically. And we always talk about celebrating Mother's Day also. But why to celebrate only one day as Mother's Day? Why not you should celebrate each and every day as Mother's Day? So what basically in this we are going to learn about it, that there is a satirical and humorous depiction of the status of women in our society and especially housewife. We need to understand. So there's a depiction about the status of women in our society and especially the housewife. That how the family members treat the lady of that house. If I would talk about it, how would you describe the mother? What you would say? Like pillar of your life, strength of your life, the center point of the family, right? So various things you will say about it. But how we are treating her, how we are treating that lady. Why to just celebrate one day while hugging and embracing everything? Why can't we give the love and respect every day to that lady? That's why we are talking about it here. Because we are having the habit of taking everything granted. So same here habit. Right? So in this we are having few important characters, I would say about it. Yeah. So I'm writing about a few characters here. First two I'm already only mentioning. This is about, first of all, you need to understand about Pearson family. So we are having Mrs. Pearson, Annie Pearson. She is that lady of that house. Then we are having Mrs. Pritzgold. Mrs. Pritzgold. Now she is the neighbor of Mrs. Annie Pearson, who is that lady of the house, right? And they both were having their cup of tea and discussing about their family. There, Mrs. Fitzgerald, who was a fortune teller who knows how to read tarots. I really hope that you know what is tarot card reading. You might have seen, like, you know about astrology, palmistry, numerology. So tarot cards, and where you need to pick up the card and then will tell you a fortune. So the lady fortune teller, when she heard about Mrs. Pearson, that how her family members take her for granted, she advised her something to do. She advised her what we can do to improvise the situation and how everyone can feel take you seriously actually. So I'm reading first a few things for you so that we can understand it here, right? So this is a humorous portrait of the status of a mother in a family, especially housewife also. Let's see how Mrs. Pearson's family reacts when she tries to stand up for her own right. So what basically means when everyone takes her for the granted. Now when she stands up for herself, how the reaction of the family members change. So it's about that. So we are having characters Mrs. Annie Pearson, Mr. George Pearson, her husband, Doris Pearson, daughter, Cyril Pearson, son, Mrs. Fitzgerald, that neighbor. So the action takes place in the living room of the Pearsons' house in a London suburb. So there's a background for it. Time, the present time. Scene. The living room of the Pearson family. Afternoon, comfortably furnished, must live in a room, small suburb, semi-detached villa. One door need to be used, better with two. One up left leading to the front door and the stairs, and other in the right wall leading to the kitchen and back door. So the background has been mentioned here. There can be a muslin covered window in left wall, possibly over the right wall also too. Fireplace is assumed to be on the fourth wall. Settee upon right, armchair, small table with two chairs. When the curtain rises, means when the scene starts, it is an afternoon in early autumn and the stage can well hit. Mrs. Pearson right, Mrs. Fitzgerald at left, sitting opposite each other at small table, two teacups and saucers and cards, as I mentioned, fortune teller. Mrs. Fitzgerald has been telling Mrs. Pearson's fortune. Mrs. Pearson, pleasant but worried looking woman in her 40s. So very calm but always in a worry, around 40, in her 40s. Mrs. Fitzgerald, older, heavier and a strong and sinister personality. She is smoking, very important that these two should have sharply contrasting voices. So Mrs. Pearson, very soft voice. Mrs. Fitzgerald, very opposite to that. Mrs. Pearson speaking in a light, flurried sort of tone with a touch of suburb, and Mrs. Fitzgerald with a deep voice, rather Irish perhaps. So the background. So it starts. Mrs. Fitzgerald, all that I can tell you, Mrs. Pearson, could be a good fortune, could be a bad one. All depend on yourself now. Make up your mind and there it is. So you said, I'm going to tell you the fortune. I don't know whether it would be right and wrong. You need to make up your mind. Mrs. Pearson, thank you, Mrs. Fitzgerald. I am much obliged, I am sure. It's wonderful having a real fortune teller living next door. Did you learn that out east too? So both were neighbors. So she said, thank you, and I'm very happy that you live near to as a neighbor for us. And have you learned it from the east? I did 12 years I had of it, with my old man rising to be lieutenant quartermaster. He learnt a lot, I learnt a lot more. Will you make up your mind now, Mrs. Pearson? Put your foot down once and then for all, and be the mistress of your own house and the boss of your own family. So underline these. She mentioned that where she had learned, and she said, make up your mind and you need to be strong. When you need to raise up your voice. You need to become the boss of your family. That's easier said than done. Besides, I'm so fond of them, even if they are so thoughtless and selfish, they don't mean to be. She said, it's easy to say, but it's not easy to do actually. I know they are thoughtless and selfish, but I'm very fond of them. Maybe not, but it would be better for them if they learn to treat you properly. So Mrs. Fitzgerald said, but they should learn how to treat you. They should not take you for granted. Yes, I suppose I would in a way. No doubt about it all. Who is the better for being spoiled? Grown man, lad or girl? So Mrs. Fitzgerald asks, who is that at the most fault? Grown man means husband, your son or daughter. Nobody. You think it does them good when you run after them all the time, take their orders as they were the servant in the house, stay at home every night while they go out enjoying themselves, never in all your life. It's a ruin of them as well as you. Husbands, sons, daughters should be taking notice of wives and mothers, not giving them orders and treating them like dirt. So Mrs. Fitzgerald said that you are not a servant here. Your husband, your son and daughter, they should take the mother, the wife as seriously. They can't give you just orders to follow about it. They can't just treat you like a dirt. And don't tell me you don't know what I mean, for I know more than you have told me. So she said, and you know very well what I'm trying to say to you. I keep dropping a hint. So Mrs. Pearson said, but I always give them hint that these things I'm not liking it at all. It's more than hints your family needs. So Mrs. Fitzgerald said, not the hints. Your family needs to know more about it, that they should not take you for granted. They should give you love and respect in return. I suppose it is, but I do hate any unpleasantness. It's so hard to know where to start. I keep making up my mind to have it out with them, but somehow I don't know how to begin. Oh, good gracious, look at the time. Nothing ready and they will be home any moment and probably all in a hurry to go out. She said, I know, but I hate unpleasantness and I don't know how to start it, when to start it. And see the time, I haven't prepared anything and they are just about to come. Let them wait, Mrs. Fitzgerald now said. Let them wait or look after themselves for once. This is where your foot goes down. Start now. So Mrs. Fitzgerald said, this is the time. Let them wait. Don't prepare anything for them. Let them do the things for the once. Mrs. Fitzgerald, I know you mean well. In fact, I agree with you, but I just can't. And it's of no use you trying to make me. If I promise you, I would really have it out with them. I know I wouldn't be able to keep my promise. Mrs. Pearson said, I know that I agree with you that they should do it, but I can't do it. My heart would not agree with me. And I can't promise you because I know I would not be able to maintain that promise. Then let me do it. Mrs. Fitzgerald said, then let me help you out. Oh no, thank you very much, Mrs. Fitzgerald, but that wouldn't do at all. It couldn't possibly be somebody else. They would resent at once and wouldn't listen. And really, I couldn't blame them. I know I ought to do it, but you see how it is. So she says, oh no, thank you. Nobody can listen to you. And I can't blame them and myself. I need to do something. She agreed, but I'm not able to do it. You haven't got the idea, Mrs. Fitzgerald said. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you asked me to let you do it. She said, oh, I thought that you're going to teach my family members. I did, but not as me as you. So Mrs. Fitzgerald said, yes, you're right, but not as me, as you. I don't understand. You couldn't be me. She said, I don't understand. How can I be you or you can be me? We change places or really bodies. You look like me, I look like you. So she gave an idea. We will change the places or really bodies. You look like me, I look like you means we are going to change our spirits. Bodies will be same. In me, they will be the soul of yours and vice versa. Interesting point here. Impossible. How do you know I ever tried? So Mrs. Fitzgerald, how do you know it's impossible? Have you ever tried? No, of course not. I have. Not for some time, but it's still ought to work. Won't last long, but long enough for what we want to do. Learn it out at ease, of course, where they are up to all these tricks. Well, I don't know. Is it right? It's your only chance. Give me your hands and keep quiet a minute. Just don't think about anything. And then they change this. So she said, I don't know what to do. So Mrs. Fitzgerald said, don't worry. Just hold my hands and then I'm going to chant a month and then we will change our spirits. Bodies will be same and you would behave as me and I would behave as you. So they both did that. They hold the hands of each other, read that chanting, read that mantra, and then they exchange their bodies. Basically, souls, bodies were same, but they have interchanged their souls. So I guess till now it's clear to you. Rest we can continue in the next class. Thank you. God bless you. So you need to understand about it. Right? They have changed their souls, personalities. Thank you. God bless you.